devotion today, I read a little quote yesterday, and I was like, oh, it relates to all of us. It's the end of the quarter. I'm sure you guys are tired. It is hot. God never said that the journey will be easy, but He did say that the arrival will be worthwhile. And I think right now you're not feeling, I graduated, so I know when you work and you get a paycheck, you're like, wow, that pain was worth it. But right now for you guys, you don't feel that. You're like, oh, it's just another quiz and another lecture, and another stress to go. But just less than a year, you did be professional. And I think then when you start working, you get your first paycheck, you're like, wow, it was worth it, But for now, my God, our God, will supply every need of ours according to His riches and glory in Jesus Christ. So when you hit this, I think the next week is, do you guys call it that week or it's the Bola Bola thing? In Bola Bola, we call the week before finals wasn't that week. And so I think next week, right before the finals, more stress. I just want you to just calm down and just think throughout the day, throughout the week, that God will provide everything you need. You do your part, and God will definitely going to help you to do it, and He's going to do His. Okay, let's have a prayer. Dear God, thank you so much that it's almost end of the quarter, and we are making it nicely. But we are tired and exhausted, and it's still hot, Lord. And we just ask you for extra strength, extra wisdom. Help us to learn today. Help us to use our time wisely, so we can accomplish what we need to accomplish. And also, God, be with us throughout this day, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay. Before I'm going to do the lecture. So today's going to be 2 lectures. One is about polishing, specifically amalgam and a little bit of composite and other materials. Very straightforward, but it's something that you're going to deal with it in your private practice. A lot of times when my patient comes and they're like, oh, I have a cheek and it doesn't drives me crazy. And you have to wait for the dentist. It's nice to know what the finishing burst, not the burst, but the disc or the points, so you can just ease that sharp edge of the amalgam or composite. And I have done it myself. And even though I did not remember doing that with dental materials when I was in school, but I had to go to my assistant. It's like, okay, can you give me, a handpiece and a finishing cup so I can smooth that edge of the patient's on. So I hope it's going to be a very good experience for you. And the second lecture I'm going to do is about occlusal registration. The same thing. You're going to hear that a lot in private practice, and I have done it myself as well. So again, it's very straightforward, it's fun, and it should not take a long time. But before we start, we are going to need our instruments today. Because remember we did the amalgam composite, we wanted to do the overhang. I want you to practice feeling how to remove that overhang or smooth it, smooth it overhang with amalgam or composite. So you should bring an instrument for that. We are going to need our boxes. And I thought about it yesterday. Someone even asking me, what should I do with the models? Remember, if you haven't bring them today. Because when we are doing the bite registration, you can place it on a model so it can show you how it's relates to each other. So that's the whole purpose of it. Usually we use the bite registration to put it on a dental model. So if you have it, bring it. If you don't have it, it's okay. But I thought of it yesterday. I was like, I hope they didn't throw it away. Okay, so bring your Hershey's model. And next week it's going to be no quiz. I decided to give you some time to study. But saying that, I'm expecting you to be here at 8 o'clock. Dr. Nick is going to do his final lecture about the Provisional Crowns, and he doesn't like when people come and go. So just to respect of him, because he's doing us a favor to do that. So I want to be sure you guys are here at 8 o'clock. So that's very, very important. Okay? Any questions before I start? Yes?
Do we have time to look at our box?
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to give 2 lectures. They should be very straightforward. They should not be long, And then I'm going to give you 5-10 minutes. You can go get your boxes. And when you're back, we can start the lab. I don't have to officially start it, because I'll try to explain everything at the end of the lectures. I'm going to have a demonstration on a typodont, how to do the bite registration, where we're going to be doing it on each other. But it's very straightforward. It's not complicated. I'm sure who was an assistant before? I think, so you know how to do it probably, right? Well, I'll demonstrate it, And so when I'm done with demonstrating, you can go and get your instruments and your boxes. You know, we need to be sure we have the typewriters with teeth, with amalgam and composites. And then we're gonna have 2 stations. I want this side of you guys do the bite registration first, and this side of the class gonna go to those stations on that row where it's gonna be hand pieces with polishing supplies. Okay, so I don't want everybody to go at once. So, but when you're done, when you get the boxes, you can start right away. So the sooner you start, the sooner you finish. You know, as long as it's done, and I need to be sure I get 2 papers today for your lab. Okay, and also I have 3 people. I have a list that I don't have papers for previous labs, but I'll try to find you sometimes through them today. Okay, awesome. Okay, as I said today, any other questions? I heard my name now. Okay, it's so hot. I guess hot. Last week it was so cold, now it's hot. Anyways, so today we're going to do polishing. That, another thing, remember if I put a question mark, it's probably because the national boards had it. I probably was going to use something like from this side to do a question for the final. I'm sure you know what polishing is. You have done it, so it's nothing new. Right here, for this time, right here. Oh my gosh, it feels so good. Sorry, I'm going to be talking behind me too. So tell me, what is selective polishing? From your experience. Why it's called selective polishing? That's right? So simple, right? And so what's the whole purpose of polishing? Like, why do you polish with your teeth? Stain. Is it therapeutic or cosmetic? Cosmetic. You guys, you know everything already. Rubber cup polishing is when we use, strictly to stain with low-speed hand piece. Rubber cup paste. Very easy, right? I know you know that, but I put it there because it's kind of comes from the national board reviews. And then it was funny, ear polishing, and it says it's removes 3 times faster. I totally disagree with that because who of you liked ear polishing? Raise your hand.
Selena.
I know. Did you like remember ear polishing before sealants? Did you like it? Personally, I don't. And so even though the book says, it's 3 times faster, I totally disagree. I feel like it's more messy. Do you guys have the lectures right here?
I'm trying to get on there.
Everybody has. I want to see the purple. Okay. I'm probably using some computer stuff. Okay. So the most abrasive when you use is pumice. That can be a board review question as well. Least abrasive, tin oxide. Probably for more delicate restorations like gold or other ones. Okay? So why do we need to polish amalgam? Well, first of all, when I say it has to be at least 24 hours. How many hours?
24.
True or false? The delta amalgam can be polished in 20 hours. False. It's very important because you need the time to sit and you don't want to take it too much because it's going to be too soft and not done. So it's very, very important. And why do you need to polish? Well, first of all, you want to be sure that occlusal looks nice. It's nice and shiny. It takes only a few minutes. You want to be sure all the margins occlusal is adjusted and it looks presentable to the patient. It's a very good practice builder, and I think not every dentist does it. That was kind of interesting to me because I don't. My practice did not place that many amalgams. I never noticed that, but because the patient has to come back, some dentists just avoid that step. And I feel like it's a very good practice builder because the patient feels like they get a quality treatment and complete treatment. So you want to be sure when the light hits the tooth, it's very nice and uniformly reflects the light. It does not accumulate the plaque. And why it's important? Why we don't want to have plaque around the restorations? Excellent. Because of the caries. You guys are good. It promotes very good periodontal health because a lot of times you're going to be in private practice and patient has tooth raised and it's like 7. Look at what's wrong. And when you look at the x-rays, you're like, okay, patient had an overhang. And a lot of plaques was gathered there. So the patient started developing Crohn's disease because he could never floss there very well. Sometimes my patient would go to Mexico to get things done. I have nothing against Mexican dentists, let's clarify that. But a lot of times I would have patients who have huge overhangs. It was like, wow. And they would say, they wanted to save money, and they would go somewhere to do what was not the quality. And even though they were trying to do all of the, right dental hygiene techniques and flossing, their periodontal health was suffering because of so many overhangs. Okay? And of course, the patient comfort, because you don't want to be sure the gums are inflamed in that area. You want to be sure the patient is happy with the composite, this dental gum or restoration. And self-satisfaction. Don't you feel good when you polish and it looks like perfect and all the plaque is gone and that, this closing solution is gone? It feels good. I feel like good job, well done. Okay, I'm going to go through basic polishing procedures. As I said, a lot of times you're not going to be doing that unless you're working in Washington. And in Washington, you can place amalgam or composite on the patient prep the tooth. So just in case some of you are going to end up in Washington, you are going to be doing that. You have to take a class and a test for that. But for the rest of us, that information is going to be very good. Again, and I said in my personal experience, when the patient comes and I chipped this amalgam or tooth chipped a little bit, and now my composite is poking my tongue, it's driving me crazy, and the dentist is busy, and so it's nice to know those basic things, how you can smooth that area. There's different techniques. There is no way better than another. I think each private practice has its own way of doing things. I'm going to mention all three of them, and I'm going to tell you which one you're going to do in the lab. So again, initial polishing requires much less time. So the basic one, the easier one, is to use rubber cup or bristles and use pumice and water. It's called slurry. It's like a mixture of material with water. It's the easiest, the fastest, and usually a lot of times that's done. The second one is polishing with points, cups, and discs. It's what we're gonna do today. We have low hand pieces in the back, and our instructors are gonna show you how to place them, the tips correctly in the hand piece. I wanna be sure you guys are safe. I wanna be sure you have protection for your eyes. And I want you to try different discs and cups and points. So first of all, you're going to start with the brown, and then you're going to go to the green for amalgam. Okay, so the brown one is the heavier ones, and the greeny are the fine ones. The disadvantage of that is that they are expensive, and then you can use only them a couple of times. So you probably can polish a few times and you have to throw them away. Another disadvantage about it, they create heat. And so what happens if we heat the tooth up? Sensitivity, right? You don't want to awaken that nerve. And patient that I said, it was all fine, and then you did something, and now I have to open it out. So you always want to have cold air and water go directly on the tooth when it's on the patient. Or use very short motions. Just use very careful and very, very short. On the typodont, you don't have to worry about it. However, on the patient, it's very, very important. So that's the material that's used for pumice. Again, you're not doing this in the lab because it's very typical, or kind of similar with you guys do for polishing. So I didn't want to do something that's you're already kind of doing it in the clinic. However, I can show you the different pictures of it. However, I wanted to do something that you can use in private practice. Also, you can use a finish and burr. However, we can't, since we are hygienists, and high speed only the dentist can use. So last class, Dr. Nick was teaching it, so we had a high hand piece, and Dr. Nick would finish some of the fillings to us if they were too high. I didn't want to use it just for safety. I didn't want to, hurt anybody because I'm not trained for it, and Dr. could not come today. So we're not going to be using the finish and burr. However, we are going to use the other stuff that I said. Okay, so the first picture is the pre-op. It's probably how all your models look like. Second picture on the right is after finish and burr. It looks very nice. After pumice, it has more shiny, looks already better, and then the final polish is what we are doing today with the cups, points, and discs. Okay, so it's very, very straightforward. One thing I want to say, there is no right or wrong, different practices, different things. My goal today, I want you to play with those tips. Try them all. This, and the kind of self-explanatory, because cups, you're gonna probably use on the clues on the sides. Like when you want to go to distal mesia. The points you're gonna use probably for the like pits or occlusal surfaces, just to create nice anatomy. And for the disc, you're probably going to use on the sides, just to be sure, if there's overhang, you're probably just going to use a disc and kind of smooth it a little bit better. And it all makes sense when you start putting it all together in good practice. And we have instructors to show you. Okay? So again, using cups and brushes, the same picture before and after. It's very, very nice. Okay. For polishing, I want you to remember this slide. And something that I learned that I realized that I was not doing things right in my practice. When you polish other teeth, you're not supposed to use the appropriate paste on porcelain and ceramics and gold and implants. I done that in private practice a long time. I totally forgot, I think, that portion, and I remember I was preparing for this lecture last year, and I was like, oh no. I polished back and right a lot of times. And so I want to be sure you remember that. When we polish restoratives, for porcelain, ceramics, we cannot use appropriate paste, the same as gold or implants. Why? Do you remember why? Because you don't want to stretch it or anything. And second thing, plaque does not stick with gold or ceramics, and usually stainless stain does not stick the gold. Yeah. If it's appropriate paste, no. So what you can use, it's, for example, for porcelain ceramics, it's aluminum oxide or diamond-containing cleaning paste. They're probably very expensive because it's diamond-containing cleaning paste. What I done in the private practice, I would just use toothpaste. So I feel like it's safe, patient feels like, it's nice and fresh. Sometimes I would use nothing, just use a perfect cup, and I feel like there is some staining that somehow got in the porcelain. I'll just use a perfect cup and just kind of gently try to smooth it, but you do not want to use any perfect paste. Yes?
I was just going to ask about the gold, but
Yes, so for the gold, same thing, use tin oxide. I'm not sure if they have it in clinic specifically for gold because they don't place gold in clinic, so they probably don't have it. Yeah.
I have a patient I've actually seen today. It's really tarnished gold crown. It's like green. So how would I fix that?
The best way to do, go to the clinic supply and say, hey, what do you have? Do you have tin oxide? And ask them. Now you're smart, look at that, you'll know. You're like, I need to polish gold. Do you have tin oxide? If they don't have it, just use toothpaste. Yeah, there's a toothpaste.
Oh,
Yeah, that I have done, and I have to confession time. I polished the restoratives a lot because sometimes you just forget things, and so that was a very good reminder for me, and that's going to be your national board, I'm pretty sure. That's something that's going to be dealing with every day, and I want you to remember that. For composites, we're going to use the fine abrasive. So you see that yellow cup on the top right? That's a cup for the composite. We have that in the back. It's what you're going to use for your polishing capacity. Very straightforward. It's not as complicated as amalgam. So that's why I'm not spending a lot of time on that. I use that again in private practice when the patient comes and like, oh, I have a little chip and I really want to smooth it. It drives my tongue crazy. Can you do something about it? And my patient and my dentist is busy to do it, or assistant. So I will just gently, smooth that area. And it's very. I'm excited that you guys are gonna try it, so you'll know that. Okay. And again, protection. I want to be sure you have eye protection, and because you're working with amalgam, I want to be sure you have gloves. I want to be sure you protect, and of course the gowns. Okay. I want to be sure you're safe, and if you don't want any metal in your body. Any questions? That's it for the polishing. It's very straightforward today. Any questions? Awesome. Okay, so our second lecture is going to be about occlusal records. Okay. When you're gonna go to the private practice, you're gonna hear me saying that a lot, because my goal is to prepare you for national boards, but most importantly for private practice. I want to be sure you're well-rounded, you know other stuff than scaling and wood planning. And you're gonna hear a lot of, pretty much every day you're gonna hear the dentist saying, I need intraocclusal relationship record, or I need maxillomandibular relationship record, or I need jaw relation record. Or the simplest way to say, can you just take a bite? So that's probably the most common you're going to hear. What your dentist used to say?
Take a bite.
Take a bite, yeah. Very straightforward. Why do we need to do that? A lot of times when the patient has done the work done, we want to be sure it matches the natural anatomy as much as possible. So when you look at the definition, it's the record or index derived from the patient's conditions, which allows one to relate costs in a predetermined and appropriate manner. Pretty much, we want to be sure when we take a dental, we make a cost, to do, for example, dental work like crowns, bridges, or removal partials. We want to be sure we know how it relates to each other. And dental occlusal record is going to help us to do that. We use different materials, of course, for different needs. If the patient has mobile teeth, you have to use different material. If the patient has stable teeth, like you guys have, and so we're going to use today, you're going to have flexible material, because all of you guys have stable teeth, all of your teeth, so that's why. If the teeth are unstable, the rigid occlusal record is used. And there is a picture, and I have a question mark. That's work and the final exam question. If the patient has few unstable teeth, what kind of occlusal record material needs to be used? So it's rigid occlusal record. Just think in the opposite way. If the teeth are unstable, you want to be sure the occlusal is stable, the material is stable. If the teeth are stable, then the material is going to be flexible. Make sense? So it has to be kind of like the opposite. So that's the material on the left and the top right that's used for unstable dentition. On the lower right, it's what we're going to be using today for us. Okay? So in order to do the occlusal record, we have to be sure we have our teeth in maximum intercuspation. That's the fancy word of saying just close your mouth in a natural way. And then can you guys all close it the same? So how they come together, it's called maximum intercuspation, or MI. We want to be sure everything we do for the patient, feels great and feels the same how they were done after they restored the work. Another one that's, I have a question mark, the same, it's called centric relation. So this one is used, for example, I have the next slide. You see on the bottom, we have the cusp, and the patient is missing a lot of teeth. So probably when the patient is going to have all this work done, the occlusal relationship is going to change. So the centric relation occlusal record, it looks like on the top right. Do you see that? It has like a plastic, kind of like L-shaped thing. And when you place the material and then they bite, so they know how the jaw comes together. That's pretty much it. Okay? So today we're gonna do the occlusal record that's designed for stable teeth. And the picture on the top, or like middle left, that's how it should be looking in your patient's and your guys' mouth. And on the bottom picture, you see how it's used. A lot of times the dentist would cut it, the whole occlusal record and just keep the piece that it's neat. Personally, I like to keep the whole arch thing because I feel like, I don't know, I want to be sure since you did all the work that stays there. But a lot of them, dentists would just cut a little piece and put it with the crown just to be sure it fits right. Okay? And there is 2 techniques for the occlusal record that we're going to use. The first one is when you keep your mouth closed and you're going to use between 2 arches, and I'm going to show you the type of them. The second one, when you keep your mouth open. That's my favorite one because you open your mouth, you're going to put it kind of like zigzag it around your occlusal plane, and you ask the patient to close the mouth. I'm going to show you both of those techniques. Again, remember that might be on the test. 2 techniques, just open mouth and close mouth. Okay? Again, if the dentist needs the bite registration just for crown, he would cut off, or the system would cut off all the excess and just leave it 1 tooth. We don't have to do today, we can keep the whole thing, but you want to cut off, and I have knives, but you have to be very, very careful. You want to be sure you have gloves on because the blade is very sharp. And just to cut off the excess so it looks nice and presentable. Okay? Any questions? It's very straightforward, yes? Okay, I'll show you again. That will make sense when I show you the type of them, okay? So it's when you, let me do this. I'm gonna use this camera. I'm gonna show you.
We need somebody to hold the screen for us.
Okay. If it's not working, I'm gonna show you, but it should be very straightforward. Give me 1 second.
Look at this.
Okay, guys, can you see me?
Yeah.
And I'll show you like go around. I'm not sure why it's. I don't want to waste time to figure it out because it's not that complicated.
Did the lady say excuse me?
Okay, I'm gonna show this side and then I'm gonna do this. Okay. So when it's closed mouth, I'll do the open first. So your partner is gonna open the mouth, right? You're gonna use this gun, and then the material is gonna come out of here. You see that? It's gonna be mixing, and you're gonna go zigzag like this. You see that? And you're gonna ask the patient to close the mouth. So that's open method, okay? I'll wait for a second just to see, and you want to wait until it's hard. When it's closed mouth, you ask the patient to close the mouth, and you're gonna apply between the arches, like right here. Okay, so that's the difference. You got it? Open mouth, you're gonna occlusal, go like zigzag. I'm just gonna wait until it's soft. And you ask the patient to close the mouth. The closed mouth method, the patient closes the mouth, and then you apply it between the arches. Some dentists like this one better. Personally, I like the one that you open the mouth. That's just personally. Yes.
For the incisal edges, are you going more like woolly for the zigzag? Or you
Yeah, it's not as crucial unless, yeah, it's not usually that particular. It's you put as much as you can, yeah, but it's on the back. It's more material area to put it on material. Okay. Okay, it's gonna. Let's see. Ta-da! Yep. And then you're gonna take it out. This one fell apart, but that's okay. And then it looks like that. And I have knives, so you can cut off all the little things. You know, I have knives in the box. I just need to take them out, okay? But you have to be sure you use very carefully. Or you can use the crown scissors that you have and just cut off those little things, okay? And so then you can place the bite registration on a tripod on the casts that you have, the models, and you put them together so you know how they fit. Okay? Any questions? Let me show you the other method. And if it's used once, that's done. So you have to get a new one. And we have plenty of tips. So, and as long as you do one, that's fine. But I want you to play with it and do both of them just to see which one you like better. So again, you're gonna ask your partner to close the mouth, and you're gonna just place it right here. Do you see that? You can place a lot. Yep. And I'm always generous with it. Yep. So that's the closed mouth method. Not complicated, right? I think you guys got it. And so the same thing, I'm just gonna wait until it hardens. We'll take it out, and I will place it on a model. And just to see, you know, so you can see the model if it fits together very nicely. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes?
If they have like serious overjet or like that,
Under our own
is it just better? Is it better just to do the open?
Yes. That would be the open one too. Remember, if it's overturned, yeah, that would be the open one because that would be real hard. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm sure if they have hard time biting, you know, like sometimes they don't touch each other, like it's really messed up. They have to do the rigid one probably. But it's like in extreme cases. I'm talking about straightforward, like you guys. You have all your teeth. You don't have any partials or, you know, like removable or mobile teeth. That's what we're gonna do today. We're not doing anything complicated. We'll leave that to the system. Any questions? Okay. Well, still. Oh, it's done. Let's see. Okay, so when it's done, we're gonna open it. And it looks like that. Okay, I want to be sure you have gloves on and keep a paper towel, or you can rinse it just to get all the saliva out. And I have, the knives look like that, and I have a blade. You have to promise me you're going to be very careful. I'm very protective of you guys. So. Anyways, I'm going to put it together. So this blade is very sharp. So you can, but it takes off very nicely. See that? It takes off very nicely. So if you want to use them, please be careful. I don't want to chop folks' fingers and anything like that. Okay? Excuse me?
Do you want the camera?
What do you want? Because it doesn't,
I don't know. I just don't see anything.
why don't you come and I'll show you. I'll show you in person here. If, for you guys who have a hard time seeing, come to me and I'll show you. for you, the guys with the close that you kind of got it, you can go and get your boxes, bring the instruments, you can come back and start doing the work, okay? And Lucy, come here, I'll show you.
Are we doing it on our laptop that's in our new boxes, or are we doing it on our?
It's on each other. Yes. Okay, just. Okay, guys, they do it on each other, you know that. But then you can put it on your model. Okay? Okay, let's do it again. It just doesn't work, and I don't know how to figure it out, so I don't want to waste my time trying to figure it out. So that's why. Okay. So that's your, you can ask your friend, your partner, your classmate to open the mouth, right? Excuse me. You're gonna push this one right here, and you go,
Just like that.
just like that.
And
You're gonna ask,
patient to close their mouth. Just like that.
this is like this. There's your, the other one. I'll show you the other one. Let it sit just for a second. Where's the knife?
Do you want me to bring your
They're
box?
very sharp, so it's why I want to be sure you guys are very careful.
I don't want my.
I ain't no knife.
Do you know how to put in? Put it away. I think. Okay. It's very nice and sharp, so you can like take all the little things off.
Oh,
You see?
yeah.
So it looks like nice and presentable. You see? But I want to be sure you guys are careful. Don't play with it. Don't go like this. That's my problem. I always cut my fingers like that. So just go like right here. Okay? And you're not required. I just want you to practice if you choose. I have like 20 of them, 10 of them.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
What's the next step of intercuspation?
That's speech right here. That's my maximum expression position.
So best fit for.
Yeah, just best fit, like it's natural. That's my
That's the next one.
Okay, so this one is done. Done. It's how it's supposed to look like. You're gonna take it out, and then you're gonna cut it off like those things.
Is that too deep? Or
No.
It's okay.
No. And then you can place in the model that you have, if you have it, you know, and just put it and see how it goes, you know, how it goes. Okay? So the other one, these together. Let's see if I can do it on. See, like now I can't. It's fast. We have plenty of, we need more. I don't know. So you ask the patient to close your mouth tight, maximum.
What's it called?
Intercuspation.
Yeah, intercuspation, maximum intercuspation. Okay, and then you're gonna go between. Doesn't try. Just think you're trying to glue them out and then on top. Okay, so you're talking too much. I always put next, so just have fun with it. A lot of dentists don't, but I do.
You taste it.
It's not bad.
Tastes like.
It's better than the other thing, the alternate. You know, when it says the same thing, you know, you open like this, and you can apply the models.
Okay, sounds good.
Very straightforward. You can do either or, but for me, play with both of them. Since we have plenty of materials, just play with it.
Okay.
Have fun with it. Okay? Yes. This is that's called central relationships.
Do you need it on each other? What she showed me?
No, it's
No,
just
it's the
covers
3-arm
just
models,
the relations
but
between
I
two
just want someone
arches.
to do it on me.
She said they do on each other, right?
Yeah, we do know each other. Yep.
So it covers. What do you mean by the cover? It's like
Open
the
your mouth.
together, making a maxillary.
So,
So
yes,
all
so
you're gonna do
maximum
is I'm open up my
intercostation
mouth
is like
and you're just gonna put this stuff on top of my teeth.
yeah. So
Now I'm
central
bite down.
relations, and when you're fit
And then you put it on your teeth and it close.
there is the whole change.
Great,
We
excellent.
just pick one. Are we doing
plan.
both or just one? Are we doing both the closed mouth and open mouth? or-
You, as long as you do one, it's fine. But I want you to practice this a little bit. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. Do you mind giving like every other the gun.
Yes. Do we need a clean cassette or is it
Take the pharmacy.
Clean?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be clean. Like I mean, it's, no, you have to
Oh.
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'll go. So this row is gonna do first.
Go
and
for
then
it.
these two. Yeah, and then I'll switch. Yes.
I don't have my signature sheet, but I have my signature sheet from last week. Do you have any extras? Okay. I have my type it out with all my stuff on it, but I left my signature sheet at home as I walked out of my mom.
I'll do one E. What? Do you mind removing the machine? One of each? It doesn't matter. As long as it's two, because everyone can get to try. And then they need to get, if they've got a gun that has to
There you go.
I'm sure she does.
Wait, so what do you get?
Because there's no chair. I wasn't sure.
That combo, and I sat down hoping because I was like, okay, I'm getting dizzy.
Yeah.
But as I sat, it wasn't
Too late.
And it was funny, like there's a couple medical students who saw me without the and so we rushed over and literally.
Something that more. Yeah, no,
Oh wow. The whole thing. That happened really fast.
We'll throw it away.
No, it is the only
I still would have laughed.
I don't know if we're that level, but I wanted to see what they're actually.
Thank you.
What about the other side? Is it?
Yes, this is I do by registration.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna wait for a plastic for a turtle? Always do.
You know what?
So this side is an option. So the next thing is so this side is doing registration first, and then this side is doing You just have to do stations so Malcolm is brown first, and second, and then the white and yellow here the deposit, and they have the stations. Bro.
But your church knows
The who's of the so this one they can do either. So one is like but
Steve, I'm gonna take
There are no more little guns.
you can do both. As long as you do one, I'm okay. But if you want to practice, do both. Yes, sir.
Are these two mini gloves?
Yeah, it doesn't go.
What size do you wear? Tiffany, what size do you wear?
So the guns, you just have to share. Or if the gun got on that side, then like what happened there?
Yeah.
Okay. Here. Leave the gun out. And when you're done, be sure to kind of give it to that side. I'm coming.
We're just gonna come and take.
Okay, thank you. Got it, thank you. Don't preload. Don't preload. Don't preload. There we go. I just opened my mouth.
It does. It's like mesmerizing. 40 of them. So 2 people are missing, but I know they're. I can print because I printed.
So you gotta grab someone and put this purple thing inside their mouth. And then you gotta be like.
Oh, you're good. I should have gone here.
And
They're all in use?
you guys can do 2.
No, can we use it? Are you guys done?
That's what all the beautiful. Yeah, just look at the little things. Okay. Yeah, it looks beautiful. Fun.
But that is hard.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry. I have 4 lap knives here in the front. So if you want to use it, I'm going to use it here, but be very, very gentle and careful. And be sure, we're giving the lap papers, so be sure I get 2 lap papers today. Yes. Because the distributor track can go away. Just, you know, the little things, like this, just to make it more presentable. It seems like you're going to have a little stuff. The same thing. The same thing. Like, you can put the main stuff just to turn to a presentable. But there's no like.
Oh, it's scary. Oh, no, yeah.
I'm going home to find out. It's very sharp. Please, it's gonna be safe. I have 1 more. I can take the one of So the answer is yeah, on So,
Just wipe
make
it.
it more presentable. So if you slice, you know.
So,
But very careful.
No.
so if you,
Oh no, we just squeezed it. That's it. Okay.
you get instructional videos, if you guys had used some more, so it killed more of the facial.
Then you trim it, but we
Yeah.
don't need to. We have like ours is really like.
So basically.
Yeah, no, you don't have to. It's just, you know, sometimes like the little things can be like little icicles hanging. Just cut it off too, it's more presentable.
Got it.
Yeah.
Ours is okay then.
You know, when you send it to the lab, you want to be sure you know,
And then what do we do over there? Polishing?
polish it. Yeah. Okay. So when you're done, be sure sign, get the paper, and then take it off.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Is this not enough?
No, it's perfect.
Looks good.
Yeah, and then you use this one.
Okay.
I didn't turn off, I just touched the.
We'll use this one.
So, and the so, future reference.
So there's like 2 methods of doing it. There's one where you open and enclose, which we're going to do first. And then the second one is you're closed and then you just put it like around. Like when you're writing down. There we go.
Okay.
Where are the other ones at?
Oh, that's so much better.
What do you tips? You know? Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
I couldn't open it. I was like, stuck together. Got like the nice, like, you What? Huh? Oh, don't use it?
Is it dry? And then this basically just tells us like how you can make it. So she said like we can
That's fine too.
and
No,
then
because it's on the
like
zone
with our models.
when they treat the
Yeah, I have a weird bite.
It's okay.
I bite one.
This is good.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
No, you don't have to. You sure it's
Yes.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Yes. Because I touched that on the
You're just gonna bite all the way down, and then I'm just gonna go.
just you can cut that off probably.
Yeah, I can do that one.
No, it's but if you want to look presentable, you can just cut it. But it's not required. It's just, yeah.
But we gotta put more.
This method is probably
Yeah.
she said to practice both of them.
Straight out.
Yeah.
Okay, no good.
Okay.
So then, okay.
Alright, so those little things you can cut off if you want to.
Okay.
I'm gonna wash my hands. No,
Okay.
Do you have a pen? A pen? I need a pen. Yeah, as long as it's so keep it for yourself if you want to, but it's just
So,
So
They're really conservative.
see this little guy here? How to pull that out? Yeah. So okay, so you had it. You're using it. Now it's take it out. And then pop this up. Okay.
Shazam. Where do we have? Are we just gonna have like the previous lab? So like the overhang. Is that what turned that in?
Yeah, you did great.
That's great, man.
That's the polish.
Or 10 out of 10.
Get the cheese for us, ready?
Sorry, my eyes literally there.
Yeah, and then we just no, you don't have to. She's not. Okay. As long as there's not too much.
Where's Miss Bedala?
There's definitely doesn't have to.
I didn't see you.
Yeah, on your lip. Yeah.
Miss Bedala. I thought I turned in the other sheet to you last time.
Yeah, and then we just get her.
I can look.
Adrian.
Yeah, I don't know where it is. I thought I turned it. Yeah, no. Now you don't have license itself.
It's on a module, so if you're I can prove it.
I'll go do it.
Pretty good. Turn it around. This one you're missing a little bit of occlusal surface, no? Somebody signed it already.
Yeah, that was last week.
You polished it?
No, she just messed up.
29, huh?
Yep.
These in each other?
This one, do it again. This, yeah, it used to be on the occlusal. So when you put the material, you're putting it on the chewing surface.
Oh, they say it's on the side.
Yeah, the bottom one?
Yeah. Oh, this one, they said that this just on the side. This one is for the occlusal.
Oh, okay then. Okay. Wait.
Just because I hope you
Which one's your paper? Put your name on it.
I'm like a mess today.
Can you give these to Christian and somebody else?
But you're a left hand.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, that's right.
On my teeth. You can keep it. Okay.
So if you
You need me to sign?
Yeah. Do you have paper too?
Yeah. This one?
I found it. You found it? Good.
Yeah, but I don't
Percussion and wipe down whatever's over there. And then we don't have to
Okay, we start. If you're done with polishing composite amalgam and adjusting, we have guns for the code registrations in the front. So just drop here in the front. Awesome, thank you.
Run you over.
Yeah, no, it's very short.
The opening. That one is easier.
You might wipe
We have to fix it right. Good luck.
First.
I have a.
Which one is it?
Oh, nice. I know, I'm like over practiced here.
We thought he gave it to me.
I don't have it.
Oh, but they haven't got it either.
For example, what I would do is choose to kind of out of this portion.
Okay,
like
this
one
one
even,
in?
yeah, those little things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This one is neat.
yeah, so you can cut this off too. It just looks more presentable.
Okay.
Yeah, we should wipe it off.
Yes, no problem.
And be careful, don't watch it. Yeah. It's just, well, if you send it to the lab. Yeah. Well, I need to touch my. Yeah, make it look nice. Yes.
Where are you going?
Yeah, I know there's so much I know. When you're sending it to the lab. Okay, so when we send it to the lab, what's the purpose of doing sending it to the lab? They need it to make models. Oh, I don't know. So ask $5. Do you think I have to do it again?
but you need to put on.
Did okay?
Yes.
Are you serious? If I have this open like this,
You could trace it.
try it. Just open like this.
Let's see.
It might be dead or maybe make some
I'll leave it like that and help you.
Do you need it more?
Oh, why did you use this?
I have one already back there. I just used it. Oh,
Okay, so a lot of little messy Yeah, yeah. Like coconut pimple. I'm sorry. Put a pile right there. Yeah. Not all. What? What the heck? No, I want like sleep and do nothing. Yeah. I'm so exhausted after this week. What are you doing?
I'm here.
I'm going to Oregon.
Hi, Kellen. You want me a map?
I have family, yeah. My sister knows Christ, so to buy Bible shower. Right, no baby shower. Yeah.
It's really beautiful. All the doctors know here.
See how nice all this is for you? Okay. Oh, got it. Yeah.
Are we keeping the bike?
Where? Yeah. Yeah.
Put it on my keychain.
I'm gonna do it right now on my desk. Just like taking off like the excess pop. I haven't tried it before, but I'll try it. Really? Yeah.
Are you guys
I'm going to.
I think it's
Selena's gonna kill me.
Dale.
Nope, you gotta tell her. I told her already.
Oh, we do something. Selena, how do you want mine?
I never like melt under. You will. Yeah. And the second one is like boom.
Look at you.
Excellent. You can use the web filter just to clean it. So be sure to the dates.
We throw away our bikes, right? After we got marked off for them.
Yeah, you can throw it unless you want to keep it, put them in.
Yeah, you can put yes.
Is that okay?
Where is my pencil?
I feel like someone finessed me.
Why do we need it?
Nothing. We'll figure that out.
I don't know if I even do this.
You cut open on that.
You don't have it? Yeah. No, there's no gun. They carry the cabin. Over here?
I'm ready.
There's none on this side.
Next year, so yeah.
Are you?
Wait, some of them only have
Yeah, take it. Yeah. If you need to do stuff for your thing, you have to do it first.
Or do you want to go? We'll just see. Why do you want to see the pretty stuff marker?
It was to, if you have overhang, just try to overhang and smooth the amalgam and composite. So when you polish, you can use after that the instruments.
Okay, thank you. How do I push this back?
Let me make it on just a little bit. Okay, and I want to be sure you guys use your instruments to smooth the amalgam of composites on the interproximate thing, you know, just to see how it feels like to do.
Can you bring
Yes, my dear.
Which one do you want?
First or the next? Doesn't matter. Okay, so yeah, yep. I just wanted to like really feel like how it's, you know, yeah. Yes. Looks good. But you can feel like even though like it's very much you can just share it, you know, just another part.
That's good.
You know, I'm gonna start calling yeah.
Okay, that's mine. And you already wrote mine. Just leave it in there.
Give it to you? Or?
How you feel?
Can you write like just put it on your
Can I show you very much?
Thank you for
First time my partner did it.
We're training 2 sets today.
Got it, good.
How many? More of this.
Miss Bedala, when are we training these?
Next week. The Provisional Crowns. Did you, you got the paper, right?
Yeah, I went and printed it out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that
I just, yeah, well, I mean, I print everything in the library because I don't print
They
it.
charge? What do you think they charge?
10 cents black and white, I think a quarter for the color.
I never in here.
But if you're ever gonna fax anything,
That's just trash.
well, because like I'd forgotten like my ID before, and like I went to fax stuff and they're like, we can't do it unless you have a photo ID. So if you just go to the right by the Loma Linda Market, the post office, the annex, they're cheaper too. Yeah.
Do we have to do both?
No, it should. Oh, it should have both.
Oh, we would have to put it. It was supposed to put it on the because it's the outside.
Do you want? Yes. Did you want? Yeah. As long as one is done, it's long for the signature. Yeah. I just want to practice both just to yeah. Because it's nice to we have plenty of materials and stuff. So.
I was like, why is the dog coming out?
So the first one. And you're going to ask the patient to close the mouth. That's into the wing, so one of them. The second one is has the mouth closed. Yeah, just because it's not there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, all I understood from that was
You made the pattern if you're on.
okay. I think that's
Yeah. Yeah. So, for example, no. So, you do the round, make a model. So you want to be sure the way you place the model. So when you do a crown, you don't make it as a far. So it gives you the position of the teeth by the rooster. If they do like, yes, is it hard now? You have to get it just, yeah. Because the moment it's hard. So if they do like, there's different by the way you have to do it, but this one is just straightforward. You have like a crown, brooches, I have done this before. So I feel like it's nice. Yes, no, it's good. Yeah, that's fine. You can just cut it on the excess to see how it's all smooth. Okay. So just the little things, it's not required, but it's would be nice. And it's
be careful.
Do you mind putting your by the box number? Yeah.
Oh, wait.